Good morning, everyone. Sunday Adelaja here. Welcome, Lalon Adebayo, Victoria Salau, She-Girl. Good morning. Oluwatoyin Bidemi, Rochelle White, Bosse Fayanjola, Jake Oke, Nkiru Ojimadu, Daniel Atsenga, Shinwe, Lola Shoronke, Ladi Shoronke, Charles Smith, Yomi Jegede, Benny Gift, Flair Karen, Olusegun Akinde, Daniel Asenga, Adeleke Adeni, Jolomi White, Nkiru Ojimadu. Looking great. Okay, thank you, Nkiru. Trying to look great for you guys. Trying to look great for you people. Because, I'm talking about women this week, so it's good to present a great picture. Anyway, as we are coming in, let's go ahead and share the link. Let's go ahead and share the link to this program. Look for your share button. It should be under your video somewhere, as usual. Okay, let's go and press that button, and let's go press that button and write something on top as well. Let's go and write something. Let's go and press something. So write some remarks, write some of your opinion, some of your comments while you share the link. Was TY saying, "You always amaze me, Dr. Adelaja. Your capacity to love and forgive is unprecedented." Do I have any option? I don't. God doesn't give us any option than to love. The only option we have is the option of love. Loving, loving, loving. Loving and forgiving. All right, I guess that you are all ready to go today. If you have shared the link, let us know. And if you have written some comments there for people to be convinced they have to join us. If you have done that, then let's continue. Let's continue. The message of this week, of course, has been to the men. Although it doesn't look like that so much now. It's like the women are the one who are more excited about this teaching. I think what I will do next time is that I will do it the way I do it in Russia. I will gather just the men alone and talk to them so that the women are not there, so they know this is just for them. Otherwise, they are thinking this is actually for the women, and some men actually think this is men trashing. But if it had been just for the men, I think they would have known that, well, the women are not rejoicing. But unfortunately, because men and women are present on this platform, women don't have any option but to hear what we are talking about, and now they are rejoicing. Next week, I wanted to actually take this talking to the men to 2 weeks, and then start the one for women, talking to the women about men, the week after. But because I'm seeing the response of the men, that the men can't wait until I talk to the women, they really want me to begin to talk to the women. So I'm going to end this series on the women and on talking to the men. I'm going to start the women talk on Monday. So I'm going to start a new series on Monday talking to the ladies about men. But before I get to the ladies, you guys, you still have to learn one or two things from me. You still have to endure me and bear with me and listen to some interesting truth that men need to know about women. One of these truths is what we're going to talk about today. And the topic of today is, listen, you as a man, you are not a schoolmaster. You as a man, you are not a schoolmaster. And your wife is not a schoolgirl. I think I cannot say that enough. I cannot say that strong enough. That you, as a man, you are not a schoolmaster. And, oh, sorry, let me stop here and say something. I'm seeing what TY is writing. TY is saying, thanks so much, everyone, for all your kind words and support from me and Darlene at our BIFTA Awards yesterday. Your love was so palpable. You guys are the best family ever. Okay. Now, what I'm understanding from that is that TY got an award yesterday. Maybe she had a ceremony somewhere yesterday and got an award. So maybe we should congratulate her, actually. Some of us who might not have done it, or they didn't even know about it. So let's go ahead and congratulate TY on her victory or on her recognition for her producer's work that I don't know what she got an award for, but but let's just acknowledge this lady. She's been so constant here, so faithful, and so genuine. And, she's making some wonderful videos. And she's a film producer, for those of you who don't know. She's a media lady. And so I think she's getting some recognitions from her job. Now, Darlene, I think, is the singer. I don't know if she won something or not, but I hope she did. And if TY is mentioning her name, it means she probably won something or two as well. So we want to congratulate Darlene as well. And say, keep the flag flying. Keep the flag of the Lord Jesus Christ of the kingdom flying. We are proud of you guys. And we are going to be seeing you as our representative in the media industry and in the entertainment industry. So we see you guys as ladies are standing for us. Now we need the men to stand as well, so that we don't just have ladies going to stand for all the men, but that we'll begin to have the men as well taking up the flag and leading to the battleground. But maybe I need to do my job with them first here on this platform. And once I set the men free from being occupied with what they don't need to be occupied with, maybe then we'll get them to the field where they will be busy with the real deal that men are supposed to be busy with. So we're starting that job today, which is, you as a man, you as a man, you are not a schoolmaster, and your wife is not a school girl. I can't emphasize this enough, guys. I can't emphasize this enough. And, as I'm mentioning this title here, I can't help but keep seeing all kinds of pictures, images, and memories of the environment where I grew up coming to mind. I never had a father, so that could have been a blessing in disguise, because I used to think that I didn't have a father, that maybe it's not the best of experiences, and that maybe it would have been better to have a father. But talking about this particular topic and thinking about it again now, I'm thinking maybe it's good I didn't have a father, because one thing that could be worse than not having a father is to have a father with a bad example. And some of the examples that I saw when I was growing up with other men and other families. Now, being an adult, we really need to do a total overhaul of our culture, of our cultural perspective to marriage and to women in general. What I saw growing up is that the women are always treated, almost 90% of the time, as a schoolgirl, unfortunately. Most women, most marriages that I saw, most relationships that I saw, the men, and not just the men, even the parents of the girls and the mothers of the girls and the community at large will always treat a wife as a schoolgirl. And it's not, if she's been treated as a schoolgirl, that is bad enough. But what is worse than being treated as a schoolgirl is that it's not just the husband treating her as a schoolgirl, but everybody else as well. Everybody else seems to be treating the girl as a schoolgirl, and especially the relatives, the mothers from the mother side and the father side. So it's a big question that we need to address. Oh, sorry. Meanwhile, I'm seeing that someone is being congratulated here. Who is that? Kennedy Festus. Okay. Kennedy Festus. Happy birthday to you, my brother. And I'm sure you are a better man. And I'm sure from this your association with us, that your life is not just growing in age now, in years and in days. I want to believe that you are actually growing in bonds and bounties, and you are growing up not just spiritually, but mentally, in wisdom, in understanding, in strength. So I pray that God's grace will keep on resting upon you, that you will fulfill your destiny, you will fulfill your heavenly mandate, that whatever field of influence that God has called you to, that God will help you to come to a total realization of the potential that God has put in you, that you will use your platform to become your voice, and that from that voice, you'll be able to bring a lot of effectiveness and results to the kingdom of God and to the improvement and betterment of humanity. So we release grace, we release blessings upon you and your family this hour. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I keep on talking about the attitude of schoolmaster versus schoolgirl. I don't know how your culture is in that sense. I don't know what culture you are coming from, but it is the attitude. It is only the attitude of schoolmaster and a schoolgirl that will make a man to lift up his hand to slap the wife, or to beat the wife, or to be scolding the lady. First of all, let me say, how is that attitude manifested of a schoolgirl and a schoolmaster and a schoolgirl? Okay, I cannot say this enough, but men, please, never look down on your wife as somebody that is inferior to you. If she's inferior to you, then don't marry her. And unfortunately, in some cultures, we men think that, not all of us, but some men actually look for weaker women, especially, and they look for inferior, maybe not inferior, that's a bad word, but just for lack of a better word, men will especially look for weaker women, or maybe almost, inferior women, and try to marry those kind of women. And the reason why men do that is because they want to be able to assert their authority. I don't know if this is there in Africa or not, but I think it's in Africa. Especially I heard that in eastern part of Nigeria, men will always marry. Men most likely will marry a lady that is much younger than them. But maybe it happens in my part as well. But in my part, it's not too popular. It's another thing that is popular in that place. It's multiple wives. Anyway, well, what I'm saying is this: a schoolmaster mentality. In my own church here, even here in Russia, I will have a man that is 40 years old or 35 years old looking for a wife in the church. And instead of him to go to, if you are 35 or 40, I think it's logical to look for a girl in the range of not more than 10 years your junior. Maybe if you are 40, you might be looking at a girl of 35, or you might be looking at a girl of 30, 35, 32, in that range, or maybe at least maybe 40, maybe closer to you. But unfortunately, and this is, I don't know if that is available, that is the same thing in your culture or not, but here, some weak men, I cannot call them any other thing, but weak men, these men will go and be looking for, they are 40, can you imagine, a man is 40 and is looking for a girl of 20 or 21, between 20 and 25, and he is 40. And so I began to talk, I noticed that trend in my church, even in my own church. So I called some men to myself, and as the senior pastor, I began to talk to them. Why that? I mean, they would tell me there are no girls in the church. What do you mean there are no girls? There are a lot of ladies here, and most of these ladies are just matured. I mean, grown-up ladies that are 27, that are 29, 30, 35, 33, 32. I mean, grown-up ladies, 36, 37. The girls, I mean, the boys are not even looking at them. The guys are not even looking at them. They are not looking at the ladies that are 35. They are 40. They are not looking at the girl that is 35, 36, 37, 38. And I was thinking that is exactly the girls that you are supposed to look at. But they don't. So I was thinking they were actually afraid of, they were of the opinion that those girls were not beautiful enough, or they have lost their sharpness or something like that. Until I began to talk to them, and in my conversation with them, I realized that no, they don't think that those girls are not beautiful. They know they are beautiful. Actually, I was thinking it's just because of beauty or something. No, they admit that the girls are beautiful, the girls that are 35, 36, but they gave me a very, I would say, silly explanation that I'm actually, that I'm ashamed of saying. I mean, so this was a man talk, all right? And the men were telling me, we want to marry younger girls. So if he's 40, he wants to marry a girl like 20, 21, 22, maybe 25. Because they tell me like this. I mean, these were like many men. And they were saying, we want to marry a girl or a lady that is not yet formed in our opinions, that is not yet established in our mindset and in a paradigm or in our worldview. We want a girl that is still, pliable. We want a girl that is still pliable, that is still, flexible. A girl that could still be molded. Actually, that I'm ashamed of this, but this is exactly what they were saying. We want a girl that could still be molded. Molded to what? To Christ's image? No, to our own liking. Maybe I'm sorry that I have to say this before you girls, but Maybe you have heard things like that, or maybe you have heard things worse than that, but I'm even ashamed of saying it. I'm even embarrassed saying it. But, I don't know, maybe it's a Ukrainian thing or it's a Russian thing. But, there are men out there that think like that. There are men out there that think like that. I don't know if African men think like that, but like Nkiru is confirming here, in the eastern part of Nigeria, people think like that too. But in the eastern part of Nigeria, I don't think it's because they want to mold the girl according to. That's not what I think. I think maybe in the eastern part of Nigeria, it's probably because the man is spending a lot of time looking for money, and by the time he's ready to marry, he can only find young girls. That's what I think. But here, they actually told me this, and these men are saying they want a girl that they will be able to shape to their own understanding of life. They don't want a girl that is already having her own understanding. They don't want a girl that is already having her own paradigm, her own worldview. They don't want a mature girl. They don't want a matured girl. They want a girl that could be, dominated. As shameful as that is, they want a girl that could be dominated. That is a shame. That is a shame. That's a shame. You don't look. That shouldn't be a criteria to choosing a girl at all. And I will tell you that has a flip part to it. It had a side effect, bad side effect. If you as a man, you're picking a wife or you are choosing a girl that is much younger than you, just because she's not mature enough to have her own opinion and to have her own mind and her own worldview, and she's not established yet in her value systems, and so you want to manipulate her or teach her your own value system, and you want to be able to apply her according to your own understanding and mold her and make her, to be adjusted to the kind of girl that you want. Well, the downside to that and the flip effect of that is that every girl sooner or later will come to maturity. And when she's 25, between 25 and 30, or maybe between 30 and 35, our eyes will open. And I've seen a lot of this, believe me. I'm an experienced pastor, and I have many people that have passed through me. When she becomes 30 or 35, after she has given birth to one child, two child, or three children, one child, two children, three children, once she has given birth to, maybe she has not even given birth, but once she's around 30 years old or 35 years old, a girl begins to, even from the age of 25 or 27, a girl begins to understand life totally differently from how she saw life when she was 20. If you are happy that you took her at 20 and you are now going to be able to, to mold her and, adjust her and change her to the way you want, it looks good for you, but that's just in the beginning. Later on, when, her full maturity comes, when she grows up, and she will begin to see how other women are living. She will begin to see who you are. She will begin to see you for who you are. And okay, some men are saying, okay, yes, let her see me for who I am, or let her come to maturity, but it will be too late for her. Okay, maybe it will be too late for her, but first of all, when a lady begins to realize that she's a different person than when she was 21, number two, she will begin to think, how did I even get to this marriage in the first place? How did I even get here? And she will begin to get angry with herself. Then she will begin to get angry with you. And she will begin to get angry with the whole world. And if she has a child at that time, she's even more angry at that child, because she's now thinking, because of this child, I cannot even live. I cannot even go and build my own life. Now, next thing that begins to happen to this kind of ladies is that when she's 30 and 35, she's now she's now experiencing panic fear. And the panic fear is that, is this the way I'm going to live my life for the rest of my days? Is this the way my whole life is going to be? And she will begin to make attempts to get out of that prison, because she has just realized that she's in a prison. And she now knows that she wants to be herself. She wants to be an individual. She wants to be, she wants to be her own person. And so either she will try to be her own person through looking for a career growth or a career fulfillment, or she will begin to try to be her own person by trying to find a way to make money, or she will try to, just get out of the marriage one way or the other. If it is impossible for her to get out of marriage, what people in a place like Africa will do is that she will begin to do a lot of religious stuff. She will begin to go to church, and a lot of ladies are hiding in the church as a place of refuge, it's actually a means of escaping from the reality of their homes and of their families. So a lot of these women, they just want to be going to church from morning to night. They want to be singing. They want to be doing all kind of things just for them to forget whatever reality they have back at home. So at this point, when ladies begin to realize that they have lost themselves and they are not in the kind of relationship that they would have liked to, and when they realize that if they could choose again, that they would never choose to be in that relationship, they are, like I said, they are so angry. They are angry at you. They are angry at themselves. Why they allow that to happen? And because marriage is always looked at as something that you cannot come out of, or where you cannot divorce. So she goes and buries herself in the church. And she goes and says, okay, I will just, they begin to pray. At first, they go to church to pray that God should change you. And then they realize that, maybe church is the only way where they could escape from their daily reality, and they just disappear in church. So what I'm trying to say is that to marry a girl that is not matured will backfire. It's going to backfire. There is a lady that just, I'm not going to mention any name, but there is a lady that just told me about her story, that, she is now maybe 40 years old or so, or close to 40, maybe 30 something. And it is now that she realizes that she wants to be a lady. She wants to be a girl. She wants to, at 40, can you imagine? That is when, maybe if not less than 40, but that's when she's just waking up to her, to her feminism, to her feminine nature. And she wants to be beautiful. Her kids are grown up a little bit, and she wants to look like a lady. But she said, I think she's a kind of late bird, that when she was in her 20s, like 19, 20, 21, she was not using a lot of makeup. She was not, she was just being a modest African girl, right? So she would not use makeup. She would not wear trousers. She would not dress flashily. So it is that characteristic that the husband saw and defined her as a modest girl, girl. So he married her for that reason. So now that she has changed and she started wearing trousers and she started dressing flashily and she started using makeup, although she says that the reason she started using makeup is because she's now 40, and as 40, you are not as attractive as you are when you are 20, and, makeup will help, and makeup helps her to look, to be able to accept herself and to be able to look a little bit better. Then this man got mad. Okay, it means you want to make yourself attractive. Okay, you want to make other men to begin to see you, or you are having a boyfriend somewhere, or you want to go and become a prostitute, or you are this and that, and he started bullying her. Trying to call her a prostitute just because the girl wants to look like a girl, just because the lady wants to look nice. That is horrible. That's horrible. And so to cut a long story short, he killed that love that that wonderful lady, was having for him, to the extent that the girl said, I would rather come out of the marriage. I would rather divorce than being bullied by you like this. So what I'm saying is that that mindset of a headmaster, that headmaster mentality, it's not for marriage. I'm sorry. It's not for marriage. Maybe in marriage, you could still be like a headmaster to your children, but never to your wife. You are never a headmaster to your wife. Never treat a lady like a headmaster. Never treat a lady as if she's a schoolgirl. Please, anything you do, don't do that. You can never. Don't do that. And like I said, like I started saying, that in the beginning, growing up in Africa, the whole thing that I saw around me is ladies being treated like schoolgirls. All throughout my life, everything I notice whenever I see men and women and families, I don't know if you have this in your culture, which I think is a wonderful thing, by the way. When a family has a crisis, let's say between husband and wife, in our culture, where I come from, and I think it is all over Africa, maybe in Nigeria, instead of you going to divorce immediately or going to court or something, you go and complain to the family members. So the man could take the complaint to the family of the woman, or vice versa. The woman could be the one that takes the complaint to the family, which is a great idea, beautiful. It's much more better than going to court and divorce immediately. Of course, now we have family psychologists, we have pastors, but when I was growing up, pastors were not everywhere like now. And psychologists was just out of the question. And I think people still do it now. But so I think that is a wonderful traditional counsel. Like that is a wonderful idea. I think we should still keep those traditional counsels. But what I'm concerned about is the fact that I saw a lot growing up as a little boy, as 5-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy. I was just walking about, always seeing those kind of meetings, and one husband and wife always comes with the family, the whole family meeting, gathering together. And in all those meetings, for all I saw, in all those meetings, I'm sorry, maybe it's the culture that is like that, but it's just like it's a giving to treat the lady as a schoolgirl. It's almost like it is just normal to treat her as a schoolgirl. No matter what a bad thing the man has done, even if it's not the woman that is at fault, even if it is the man that is at fault, he will be treating her not as a victim, but he will be treating her as maybe as the culprit, as the person to blame, as the criminal. He will treat her bad. He will bully her. He will bully her, treat her like a schoolmaster and a schoolgirl. And then when they come to the family meetings, normally the family meetings and the members of the family are also treating her as if she is nothing, as if she is a schoolgirl, as if she is... why this is emotional to me is that if you know the nature of women in the first place, this is totally anti-woman nature. It is just anti-woman nature. What example can I use, my God? The Bible calls the woman a vessel, but a weak vessel. So it's just like this cup. This is fragile. Women are fragile by nature. Bullying is not for women. Women are supposed to be cherished like this. Women are supposed to be preserved, protected. Women are supposed to be guarded, protected. Women It's not, I'm not talking physical. This is not about physical fragility or physical weakness. Emotionally, listen closely. The glands of the woman, it works with more intensity, especially the hormone glands. The hormone glands of the woman is much more so complex than the one of the men, that it makes them to be emotional. The reason why women are emotional is because of the building, their physiological and their biological composition. God made women in such a way that they are fragile emotionally. God made them to be delicate emotionally. So because of their hormones and the changes that happen in their body, I mean, you men, can you imagine that you are the one having menstruation every month? Can you imagine how much changes go on in their lives, in their body, on monthly basis? It's just like you as a man being sick every month. I mean, bleeding every month. And you think, oh, they are used to it now. They are doing it all their lives. They are used to it. It's not about the bleeding that I'm talking about now. It's not about the menstruation I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the complexity of their makeup. I just want to help the men here today understand that women are 14 times more sensitive. 14 times more sensitive. They feel pain, not physical pain, not bodily pain. They feel emotional pain 14 times harder, harsher, sharper than women. Women are they could easily be damaged. That's what I'm trying to say. They can easily be emotionally ruined and damaged. I mean, okay, let me tell you what. Have you seen this picture where a slim girl stands before the mirror? She stands before the mirror and she is seeing herself in that mirror as fat. That it goes a long way to tell us about how delicate women are. Even though she's looking okay, but when she looks at that mirror, she's seeing weakness. She's seeing fragility. She needs support all the time. Women are supposed to be always supported. Women are supposed to be guarded and protected. They need covering all the time, especially emotionally. She needs to her inside needs to be protected. She must be protected. Humility, I mean, what do they call it? Humiliating women is just destructive. It's deadly. Humiliation is not for women. Disgracing women and using shame, humiliation, and disgrace as an instrument of upbringing, as an instrument of training for the woman. And I see so many men do that. 14 times. Okay, for example, can you imagine? She's even okay. She's looking at the mirror and she's seeing herself. Even how many times have you, she's always thinking negative about herself. She's always thinking she's worse than she is. She's always thinking, why do they need to do makeup? Why do they need to, look nice and dress nice? Because she's not confident enough. She's not so sure. She's not always sure of herself. She's not always certain. She needs affirmation all the time. That is how fragile a girl is. Now, if you now come and now you come telling her she's nothing, using shame, humiliation, and disgrace as an instrument of correction. Please, you men that are here today, I beg you, I'm going to stand on my knees if you want me to do that. I'm going to stand on my knees and I'm going to beg you men, anything you want to do, never use disgrace as an instrument of punishment for your wife. In fact, disgrace and shame should never be applied and used against anybody. Shame and disgrace, they are not scriptural. You are demeaning the nature of God if you do that. You are humiliating God if you do that. Never use shame against a woman. Never use shame against a woman. Never use the instrument of disgrace against a woman. And never use the instrument of humiliation against a woman. Never. Just, better walk out, better, better keep quiet, better, I don't know what you're going to do, but vow to yourself that you will never do that. Just promise yourself, promise God, promise your wife, promise your daughter, promise the ladies in your life that you will never use these three instruments as an instrument against a woman. Never use shame, never use disgrace, never use humiliation against a woman. They are too fragile for that. That's the point I'm trying to make. Women are too fragile. So that old mentality of schoolmaster and a schoolgirl thing, they are all based on breaking. Let me tell you another thing you should never do against a woman. Oh my. Let me tell you another thing you should never do against a woman. Never break her. Never break her. Never crunch her. I see so many of that. I see so many of that. I see so much of men trying to assert their authority in the home and over their own jurisdiction, trying to break a lady. Men always try to do this all the time. Men always try to break. They always try to break her because we want to win an argument. That is another thing you should never do. Never try to break a lady. Never try to break a will or crush her. Never try to crush a lady. A lady, she should never be broken. She should never be crushed. She's like a flower. A lady is like a flower. It's just like this glass. If you break it, how will you get it back together? Never break a lady. Never break her will. Never break her emotions. Never use, crushing as your instrument of strength. It's never any victory that you secure by crushing her, any victory that you think you got, by breaking her and crushing her and shaming her and silencing her, that is not victory. That is a victory that will flip back and hit you in the face. That kind of victory is no victory. That victory of crushing and humiliating her and silencing her and breaking her will, that is not victory. That is a shameful defeat for you. If you have to use strength, if you have to use force to silence a lady, to break her, to crush her, she will remain forever damaged. You are killing a human being right there. You are killing her. You have just killed that girl. In fact, let me tell you how serious this is. Even the nature of a girl and a woman does not even take a rebuke. How do you say? You can correct a girl, but don't ever chastise her or rebuke her or speak harshly to her. Anytime you speak harshly, you chastise her hard with your words, especially you doing that with the word. And every time you humiliate and, make her to look small, something dies in that woman. Something dies in her. So let's change that order. Instead of you trying to make yourself and assert your authority as a schoolmaster over the girl and over your wife, let's change it. Let's change that position. Let's turn into what every lady is dreaming of. The reason that girl agrees to marry you in the first place is because she was hoping that you are going to protect her from all that. She was hoping, in fact, the very reason why she agrees to marry you is that she was hoping that you are the one who will protect her from shame, from disgrace. Listen to me. I don't even care what she has done. Even if it's your daughter and she gets pregnant, don't use those three things. Don't crush her. Don't use shame. Don't use disgrace. Don't use humiliation to train her. I know a lady that used to come to this platform, and she had an affair. You know, she's married. She was married, and she had an affair with a man. And then the man, the husband got to know, and they took her to the pastor. And he was, of course, beating on her, humiliating her, destroying her. Then when she got to the church with the husband, the pastor also got on her and started, you know, in fact, the pastor even made it worse, saying, if I were you, I would throw her away. She should just be thrown. The impression is that being weak or being a woman, a weak person, a helpless person, as if that gives us the right or the freedom, the authority to mistreat. But I think it's the opposite. Weakness of the opposite side should not give us, that is not, when somebody is already weakened, when someone is already humiliated, when someone is already buried in shame of her sin and of her mistake, she's already broken, she's already damaged, she's already disgraced. My thinking is that is not the time to trample her under our feet. That is not the time to damage her and totally destroy her and throw her in the street and make her feel totally worthless. I think we people who have been given strength, power, energy, money, financial strength, positional strength, as pastors, as leaders, as husbands, that any kind of authority that we have, power or strength that we have, should rather be used to build people up, to lift other people up, to lift the weaker people up, to actually build her back, give her some hope, give her some help. You know, that's what Jesus did. You know, the lady that was caught in adultery, you know, she was actually caught in adultery. And they were expecting Jesus to use his own place of authority, his authority to come and come down on her and crush her. But Jesus knows the nature of women. Jesus would never crush her. Jesus would never even crush anybody. And especially a woman. Jesus would never crush a woman. And he would never teach a woman through shame. Jesus would not do that. Jesus is a gentleman. And I think we should all try to be like Jesus. What Jesus did, you know what he did? Let me tell you what Jesus did. I mean, can you imagine about 20 men or 40 men, 50 men surrounding a poor girl? 40 men, 20 men, I don't know how many they were, but all these Pharisees, they have been looking big, and she's just a girl. And all of them were dragging her, and they dragged her to the feet of Jesus and said, look at her. They already killed her, by the way. They already killed her. They already humiliated her. They already killed her. They already killed that girl. But they were still not satisfied. They wanted to bring more punishment to her. They wanted to bring more shame to her. They wanted her to be more humiliated, more destroyed. They wanted to crush her altogether. Oh my. You see, we think we have a reason, and when we are disgracing people, we are crushing people, we are humiliating people, we are always referring back to the reason that we have, to the argument that we have. So we think we have a reason. So because there is a reason, and the reason that she was caught in adultery, that reason justifies our wickedness. That reason justifies our harshness. That reason kind of justifies, we think we are justified in our attitude. So when they came to Jesus, they were trying to make Jesus understand that there is a reason here, that we are justified, and there is a reason why you too must join us, and why you must help us destroy this lady. And Jesus is not like that. Jesus is not like that. You know, first of all, the first thing we must all think about is that we are all guilty. We have all been guilty. We've all been faulty. We've all, messed up one time or the other. We were all sinners just yesterday, just the other day. What about if God had come hard on all of us like that? What about if God had crushed us? We wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be talking about it today. So Jesus listened to all these men and all these Pharisees, and he listened to them. He listened to their arguments. But he did, Jesus. Let us be like him. Let us be like Jesus. He would never allow them to make him into a schoolmaster. He would never allow them to change his attitude, his godly attitude, his fatherly attitude, his godly nature. He would not allow the bullying of these Pharisees to change him to become like them. He would never allow them to make him a schoolmaster. So what he did? He listened to all these accusations, and he did not he did not dispute the fact that the girl was wrong. He did not dispute the fact that the girl committed the adultery, right? But you know what my Jesus did? You know what my Jesus did? My Jesus went and put himself between the lady, the helpless lady. He stood between that lady and the crowd that wanted to stone her to death. He went there and stood in front of her. He went there and stood in her defense. He took a strong stand, not physically, I'm not talking physically, but a stand. He had a strong stand of defense and said, no, I would not allow you to do this. I would not allow you to. He went and used his power correctly. He used his power rightly. He knows what power is meant for. He knows what authority is meant for. Authority is not meant for bullying. Authority is not meant for oppression. Power is not meant to be used to oppress. Power and authority must not be used to put people down. Power and authority must be used to defend people, to protect people, and to lift others. So what Jesus did, instead of joining those people to condemn that woman who was clearly guilty, she was guilty, she was at fault, he went and protected her. He gave her that protection. And he said, any one of you that would dare stone her, let me see any one of you that would dare stone her. Let me see any one of you that would dare stone her. Let me see any one of you. Let any one of you dare do anything to her. Let any one of you dare do anything to her. I don't see that attitude too much today. I don't see that attitude too much in relation to women, in relation to the weak, in relation to the fallen, in relation to the sinner. I don't see that attitude too much. even by the people who have power, by the people who have authority, by the people is like now is the opposite. People rather use the authority to crush the weak. People rather use the authority to humiliate the vulnerable. And that is so sad. But Jesus was the opposite. Jesus would never allow himself to become a bully. Jesus would never allow himself to become a schoolmaster. You know who he was? He became a protection. The reason why that girl agreed to marry you in the first place, he was hoping that you will become that Jesus to her. She was hoping, and all her hope was that you will become that Jesus for her. You will become that protection for her. That you as a husband, what does it mean to even become an husband to a girl? To a girl, a husband means somebody who will always be there for me, somebody who will not allow anybody to wrong me, someone who will always be there to protect me so that nobody will ever offend me, nobody will ever bully me, nobody will ever humiliate me, someone who thanks to whom I will always be secured, someone thanks to whom I will always be protected, someone who will be my companion, someone who will be my confidant, someone who will, who will never allow me to be offended, to be hurt. This person loves me. This person will become my husband. Actually, the attitude and reaction of Jesus right there is exactly what every woman is expecting from his man, from her husband. Every woman in this world is expecting to have a husband that will do like Jesus did. Every woman is dreaming that my husband will be like that, what Jesus did. Every woman is dreaming that their husbands would never allow life situation to hurt them, to crush them, that their husbands will stand between life situation and them and take everything with his chest and protect them and guide them away and protect them from those life situations. And every woman is dreaming that the husband that God will give them will be a man that will see their fault and their failure and their fallibility and their imperfection, but cover themselves and God and protect them. That imperfection, that failure, that weakness is not a reason to destroy you. It is rather a reason to protect you. It is rather a reason to cover for you. It is rather a reason to watch over you. It is rather, that was a reason right there for Jesus to join and at least to give the condemnation and to give the judgment against the girl. But Jesus would never do that. And everybody is expecting, every woman is expecting their husband to be that Jesus to them. Every woman is expecting that their husband will be that shield to them. Every woman is dreaming that they will have a husband that will be that protective edge, that protection to them. And that one that will, push back all the Pharisees and all the accusers. Oh my God, I think I'm getting too emotional now. Please don't look at that girl. Don't look at that your woman or your wife. Don't look at her anymore as a schoolgirl. Don't look at her as a schoolgirl anymore. Begin to look at her as who she is, the daughter of the Most High God. Begin to look at her as a princess of the Almighty. She's not a schoolgirl, and you are not a schoolmaster. Stop being a schoolmaster to your daughter, to your wife. Become a confidant. Become a protection. Become a defense. Become a father. Become a protective edge. Become a covering. Become a companion. Become a companion, a confidant. Let her know that once you are around, or once you hear about the situation, that she will be covered, that she will be protected. Let her always know that once you hear about the situation, that things will be resolved. Just like just like we are with our fathers. We know that once our fathers know about this, they will cover up for us. They will stand in the gap. Be the type of man that will always stand in the gap for your girl, for your woman, not the one that crushes her. I can't go on. I'm sorry. My time is up. My time is over for today. I will not go on. Let me just I think we should go and share this link, if you don't mind, or maybe if you feel that this will bless somebody, why don't we just go share it? Let's go ahead and press the share button. There is a share button under. You must have a button under your video somewhere. Share. Let's go share it and write something. Let's write something for people to be able to go in and watch this program. Maybe a lot of people are out there that need to see this program. Maybe there are a lot of men that need to see this program. Maybe there are a lot of women that need to see the program. So go and get yourself a copy. And I think even you that are here, you might need to get a copy. And the way to get yourself a copy is to share it. If you press the share button, it will come over to you and you'll have it on your timeline. But even there on your timeline, write something about it. And let people know why they must watch this, why they need to watch this. And let me see what you are writing. Let me hear your opinion about this message. Maybe some of you agree with me, or maybe some of you don't agree with me. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you agree. Let me see what people are writing, by the way. Let me see what people are writing. Abosede Robert says, this is touching. Comfy here say, you are so special, Pastor Sunday. Bless you, bless you. Joseph says, we are going to change. We will change and not shame our wives or mothers. Ufoma said, the reason men do that is because they are so insecure and emotionally inferior. Abosede says, more anointing, sir. Precious Ungu say, I was treated like I was nothing by my husband's family. Oh my. She says, it beats me and bullied me. And they said, women keep their homes, wear their makeup and cover up the problems of the home. So if your husband is not happy, it was your fault. He moves out and leaves me with 4 children. On and off for 4 years. And they said it was what I did that made him to move. I was walking like I had to hope. I was walking as if that was my only hope, nobody to run to, because I'm from Liberia, my God. And I did not want to tell my family of all the bad treatments. My husband is from Nigeria. I was told that I'm useless and I don't know tradition, but yet I was the choir leader full of so much pain and shame when I walked into the church each time. I lost my self-esteem, confidence. The shame and pain was so much. I was homeless and disgraced with my children, walking the streets of London homeless, broken and seeing my babies cry. Sir, we give God glory for your life. Precious, please tell me, how are you now? How are you? Are you okay now? Have you come out of that situation? Are things better now, please? I need to know. If things are not better, we need to send some people to you right there in London. Some people on this platform are from London. They need to come and meet you. And guys, girls, ladies, TY and others who are in London, could you find out, could you write a note or some letter to the inbox of Precious, and please go ahead and get to know her better, and let's be friendly with her and see what we could do to help that family, please. Eric says, thank you very much, sir. We love and appreciate you for the transformation you are bringing to our homes. God bless you richly. Steve Osareti says, thank you, Pastor. God will help us to change as men. Jefferson Ozoma says, Pastor, your insight is frightening. You are like a co-creator in action when you speak. Foluke Olawande said, thank you, sir. If a woman is like a flower, precious. Shinwei said, this is the reason why some women pick up courage and revolt. Marianne says, yes, many women are walking dead, that they are still walking about, but they are actually dead inside. Eric says, positive changes are being activated right now. Elizabeth Ali says, I'm just thankful to God for being single, honestly, because I've seen firsthand all these things. Apostle Dotun says, African men, we need deliverance in this area of trying to win our wives through breaking and crushing them and speaking harshly to them. T.Y. says, bless you, Pastor Adelaja. You are so compassionate, sir. Paul says, I am learning more. Seriously, I'm learning. Adiola Disu say, you are so right, sir. Thank you, sir, for this message this morning. I see people congratulating Olukayode on his wedding anniversary, but I'm sorry I couldn't join because this is just too serious for me. This topic is too serious and it's too personal. It's too emotional for me, not personal, but emotional. Jefferson said, the nature of the Father only lifts and never breaks or berates. We've been horribly damaged as men by culture. Yes, it is, it is what these men have seen by their family and their culture. That is what's making them to be like this. Elizabeth said, just in a relationship, I'm crying almost every time because of disagreements. Elizabeth, any man that wants to date you, if he's not coming to this platform to learn, I don't think he deserves you. Let him come and learn. If he doesn't want to change, you are going to suffer for it. Marianne says, this is one of the major reasons why Africa is still in a mess and is not developing. Foluke says, as parents, we shouldn't use shame, disgrace, and humiliation to correct our daughters as well. Olukayode says, these messages are timely for us. You cannot imagine how many errors I have committed in more than 20 years with my wife. When measured against these teachings, she has endured me a lot instead of enjoying me. That is so well said. You are so sincere, Kayode. That is so good for saying this. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming out truthfully and for telling the truth. Now, in the table has turned, she will start enjoying from now on. That is so good. Thank you, Olukayode. Thank you. Thank you, Olukayode. Thank you so much. I feel like hugging you now. Normally people will say they feel like hugging me. But Kayode, I feel like hugging you now. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because whatever you do to her, you are doing to her father. She is the daughter of the Most High God. She is my sister. Whatever you do to her, if it hurts her, you are hurting me. You are hurting my father. You are hurting our father's feeling. But if you make her happy, you are making our Father happy. And I'm feeling that joy of Father, of our Heavenly Father right now. I'm feeling how much God is happy with you, Olukayode, for taking that decision. Thank you so very much. So Kayode said she will start enjoying you now. I only hope she can unwind and forgive my past errors. Thank you, Kayode. Thank you. This is such a sincere apology and sincere repentance. Beautiful. How I wish every man on this platform will be able to repent like this as well. And Kayode goes on saying, all the ladies on this platform may help me beg my wife. Wow, wonderful. Kayode, you are just a gem. You have such a sweet heart, such a soft heart, such a good response, such a good attitude. You know, some people would rather fight me. Some people would rather abuse me. Some people would rather, you know, fight this message. But you are just behaving like Christ-like. Beautiful. I think even this humility to come public like this and repent before your wife, I think that alone will heal her. Will heal her. TY says, my mentor, I'm so much in awe of you. We are so in sync, or God in us whispering same thing in our ears. My broadcast tonight is about this, I think, yeah. So our broadcast, TY is going to have a broadcast tonight, so please follow her. She will continue where I stopped. Apostle Tim says, change your position from the tearing down of your wife to the original intention of giving her intention, covering, giving her protection, covering, and understanding. Yes, that's what this is about. Shane Wayne said, why can't they hit the high road instead of breaking the lady if they cannot forgive her behavior? Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. TY says, I see Jesus in you, sir. I love you so, so much. Thank you. Adeola Disu says, it is so sad. Some still weep women publicly. You know, you people now, you begin to understand why I have to go back to Nigeria. I'm going to go back to Nigeria. A lot of these things, if somebody they will weep women publicly, if that happens in Nigeria, even if men beat women in Nigeria, I am going to do everything I can do. I'm going to lobby that we pass a law in Nigeria against bullying and against domestic violence. If there is no law like that in Nigeria, it will be one of the things I have to do when I get to Nigeria. And another thing I want to do when I get to Nigeria is to enact a law against jungle justice. You know, people being killed everywhere in the streets. It doesn't matter what they do. We don't have an excuse. We have law. We don't have an excuse to do jungle justice. So that's another thing I'm going to fight against when I get to Nigeria. So I cannot wait till I go to Nigeria. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. A lot of things need to be corrected in Africa in general. Elizabeth Alice, Pastor, your mindset is just awesome. Indeed, the nature of God is deeply rooted in you, sir. May God make our men like this as well. Amen. Marianne says, now what shall we say better? Where shall we say better than this? Where can we hear or find more truth than here? Davida says, most women have nowhere to run. They may being financially, they are not made financially empowered or something. So they live in it, and their position hardly gets better because it gives the abuser a greater sense of importance, authority, and power. Yeah, unfortunately. TY, I have been struggling with sharing tonight. Real struggle, but again, God is is using his assigned mentor for this season to affirm me and give me confidence to do God's will. I'm indebted to you, sir. Elizabeth Ali said, Jesus defends and fights for women. Yes. Jefferson said, change in men needs to be holistic, and love needs to be the center of our being. Right. Matthew 12:20, Ugo Emeka said, a bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. Yeah, you see, that's how men are supposed to be. Foluke says, yes, power and authority is not meant to pull down others, but to build them up. Right. Shashal Ubuntu says, all this is so sad. I'm so sad. And for the women that are being treated badly, and for the men that are using their power incorrectly. Eric Osadolo says, is taking a decision that his wife from now on is welcome to the real world of enjoyment. Thank God. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you. And let your wife know about that right now. And you've got to start with apology. You've got to start with repentance so that, things will begin to change properly. Victoria Salau said, wow, deep stuff. Shinwei says, people in authority are gangsters, yet they preach to their children not to be in the gang. Ego Emeka said, my biggest pain is with men and women who should be shepherds over flocks, abusing and bullying those same people. I don't understand that one at all. Those are pastors bullying people. Yeah, it's as bad. It's as bad. Jesus would not even bully a woman who was in sin. Talk less of bullying the people under his authority. So it's a wrong understanding of Christianity, and it's a wrong understanding of leadership. And these things must be changed. We are going to do something about it. You wait, by the grace of God. And I think you people should help me spread this word. We should spread these messages and let them go everywhere. Maybe we need to tag people. Maybe we need to inbox people. Maybe we need to send them to people, links to people one by one, individually or something. But, we need to do something about spreading the word. Another man is saying, Ernest Ibong, I am so humbled. I have learned so much from you, Pastor Sunday, for the past 7 years that has helped my marriage and ministry. May God continue to increase you in wisdom. Elizabeth Ali is a pastor, and she's just weeping. Elizabeth is broken down, weeping here. Gladys Nwosu says, men, you have a lot of work to do, men. Marianne says, Pastor, I'm so humbled by your teaching us how true leadership should be. Koye just says, wow, what will they think if I stand to protect her to that extent? Lord, please have mercy. Well, it's not about what men will think. It should be about what God will think. I think we should be more concerned about what God will think and what God is thinking and what God is expecting from us rather than what men will think. Tim Dotun says, if God were to deal with women's weaknesses the way we deal with women in this part of the world, no man will stand today. We must imbibe the nature of Christ and not our natural or blood father's way. If God were to deal with our own weaknesses the way we deal with women, we will not be alive today. Shinwen says, honestly, some people need brain shock to activate this part of thought in their lives. Ufoma says, that is it, sir. A father's heart is what is needed. That's what women need. Love and tenderness, even in their strength. Gladys says, you are so blessed, sir. Apostle Tim says, oh, I want to be Jesus to my wife. Lord, help me. That's good. You see, men is getting to the men. You know, in the first few days, the men were protesting against this, my message. And they were, you know, protesting against it. I started on Monday. And now you see what is happening towards the end of the week. Men are already getting it. Men are getting there. TY says, Pastor, it's your compassion and emotion that makes you to be like Jesus. Thank you. Fumi Jeboda said, this message is so powerful, need to be shared in all churches. Well, all of us should do what we can do to spread the word. Adeola Disu says, your authority and power is to lift other people, protect them, love her, not to crush her. Stop abusing her. She is not a slave. She is not a property. She is not a domestic help. Don't break her. She's a blessing to you. It's a pity that it's a woman that has to say this. But I'm sure that the men are hearing. Says, women, I think she's just a compensation. Noel Okushuku said, this morning I was privileged to be involved in a case where her wife, to be confessed that she slept with where the wife confessed that she slept with a man who offered her power through money. Honestly, I had not slept. The guy had proposed. A man uses power wrongly by using money. Yeah. Shito says, I'm a daughter of the Most High God. I must be treated, and you must be treated likewise. Shinwe said, every woman is priceless and should be treated with respect and honor. Jefferson Uzoma is a pastor and is also breaking down crying. So even if the men are crying already, God, help us to get this message out. Help us to get these messages out, oh Lord. Help this message to get to the men of the world, men of Africa, men of Europe, men of America, men of Latin America. Let this word get out, my God. Help us to get this word out to everybody. Do your miracle. Let something happen. Let this word go viral. Let it change and soften our hearts and make us Christ-like, my God. TY says, I'm so messed up right now. Wonuola says, this message could make me cry and dance all morning. Comfy says, Pastor, you are the voice of God. Love you so much. Ufoma said, a man, young or old, with a superiority complex will cripple a woman and reduce her to a schoolgirl instead of a wife. Truth is, one day she will revolt, and it is not unusual. It is not usually good. So men, watch out. Jefferson says, Pastor, I'm going to start a series from these messages to men. I need to echo you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Jefferson. Thank you, Jefferson. We need as many people as possible. Any of my messages, I give you people the freedom. Go and do them. Go and do your own messages. Go and do your own programs. Unfortunately, all the people who have been doing programs under the hashtag Sunday Delaja Life that we said we should all be doing video, all of them are just women. Men have not been doing any video. So this is a good way to start. I mean, we need to take this word out to our sons, to our daughters, to our men, to our husbands. As many people as will be talking about this, the better. The more people that will talk about this, the better. The more we will talk about it, the better. TY says, I learned so much about the covering God made a man to be in a woman's life from you. I did not even know so much we are learning. So much, I did not even know. We are learning so much. So many chains being broken. Love you big. Blessing says, thank you so much, Pastor Sunday. For Lucas said, this is awesome stuff. Your wife needs your love and protection. You are a shield. Wonderful. Fumi says, we totally agree 110%. Shegun Fatima said, the society and our culture have misinformed the men about right relationship with their wives. Thank God for this message. Marianne says, Pastor, we have been brainwashed our entire lives how to please the men. Why can't we use more time here to restore and correct this major issue? You know what? If I begin to talk about relationship, if I'm going to be talking about this topic, men and women relationship, you know, it will lead me talking from now to New Year. So this message might go on, this series might go on to the New Year. You know, that, so it's a lot to talk about. These things is just the beginning now. It's a lot to talk about. When if I'm supposed to continue to talk about this, next week I will talk about the woman. Then the next other week I will talk again about the men. Then the next week I will talk about the men. You know, it could lead us to talking about only this topic till New Year. But you know, if you will not be bored, or if there is a need like that, if the need is so big like that, then we're going to do that. Then we're going to do it. Blessing says, you are a joy to many generations. Thank you. Fumi says, 100 million times agree. 1,000 times agree, 1,000% agree. Victoria says, now I understand better what covering means. Shito says, you just made my day, Pastor. God bless your heart, sir. Elizabeth says, I agree 1,000,000% as well. Euquaria says, I'm with you all the way, Pastor Sunday. God bless you. Apostle Tim says, this message is right from the heart. Bolaji says, marriage is to be enjoyed, not to be endured. Wonuola says, too many women are suffering from PTSD under makeup, tradition being upheld above God's values, sometimes hanging in there for the children. That's so bad. Noel says, I don't know what to do. The guy who proposed is my best friend. I understand her position. What led her to misbehave? But the fiancé is pained, so pained. He feels oppressed that a wealthy man oppressed him with his money by paying heavily for sex with his fiancé. He is pained. Now, Noel, what we are supposed to do is this. I would like to advise you to give this video, this message of today, give it to your friend. Let him listen to it. And also give him the message of all this week to him as well. And he must forgive her. You know, this is an opportunity for him to prove to her that he really loves her. If I were the one, I'm going to forgive her. And I'm not just going to forgive her, I'm going to cover for her so much that she will not even remember that happened. That is what Jesus did with that woman that they brought to him that was caught in adultery. Jesus covered for the girl, removed her shame. This man, if he really loves her, and if he really is a father, if he has a father's heart, he's supposed to forgive that girl. He's supposed to cover her shame, wipe her tears, and heal her wounds. That is my message for that girl, for that guy. Sandra said, great messages, great teachings, and it needs to be shared in churches, schools, and communities. It is a masterpiece. God bless you, sir. Shegun Lawal said, the reason why men treat their wives anyhow is because they know not that they are representing Jesus in the family. Shidima said, God bless you, sir. A lot of women are suffering here in Nigeria. Gladys said, you find the love here that you never have or feel. God bless you. Shashal says, when I will meet my future husband, before I say yes, I will make sure he listens to this entire series. Steve Osarity, applying your teachings in our homes is heaven on earth. I'm so glad to be under your teachings. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you too, Steve. Duro Timi says, we thank God for your life, sir. Modupe says, thanks, Pastor. This is really touching, sir. God bless you. I was crying. Thank you, sir. Unkiro Jimadu says, thank you so much, sir. Family in the house, reminding you that this message also applies to all the females in your lives. Mommy, mother-in-law, sisters, daughters, all the ladies need this kind of care. Oh, Dr. Being Sufficient is out. Hello, she's saying, wow, Pastor, what a message. Think every parent needs to hear this. All men needs to hear this. You've always been telling me that's sufficient. No woman, no human being deserves to be treated in humiliation and shame. It is absolutely inhuman. My heart bleeds when I see the predicament of women in Nigeria and Africa at large. The worst scenarios are when these women are pastors' wives. Pastor Sufficient, that's why we must spread the word. And this message, we must just take it out and let it go about as much as we can. Darlene Madu says, I'm here, sir. I left the church, moved away, still married, but being separated for 1 year and 7 months. It has been six months. The church said I should go and sort out my life because I got tired of the treatment. I am no longer in the church. I am healing daily, sir. Thank you, sir. Wow. Darlene, you are such a jewel. You've been such a star in this place. Everybody's been in love with you, with your talent. Everybody's been talking about you. First of all, congratulations for your gift and for your victory, for your award that you won. And, you are a jewel, precious in the eyes of God, and you are accepted here. Let anybody reject you that want to reject you. Let anybody or any church treat you any way they want to. But here, you are going to be celebrated. You will always be celebrated there. You are God's daughter. You are our Father's princess. You deserve to be treated as a princess. And princess will you remain in Jesus' name. Duro Timi says, I'm in tears right now for what our ladies go through. Sholange Daniel says, thanks very much, Pastor. I'm glad for this message. I have a friend. She is in Cameroon. It's not up to 1 year in marriage, and she's already frustrated. I was trying to encourage her last night. I wish the husband could watch this message. I believe things can change. She is close to me. I feel for her. Yeah, there are people who have the downloaded version of this message. They will be able to give them to you as well. Jeanette says, I'm in tears too. Shinwe, everybody, they are greeting and congratulate Olukayode. Marianne says, Father God, we still choose to forgive the men and bless them and honor them and cherish them despite how they treat us. Elizabeth says, Pastor, you are so right. After all I've been through in the hands of these men, until God himself speaks to me, marriage is out of my mind. I'm married to my purpose. We will be having children soon with that purpose. Davida said, I was contacted by a lady in Nigeria from Liberia who had married a Nigerian pastor. He left her for South Africa, didn't visit or send any support to his wife. My God, and their 5 children. I stepped in to help her start a business. The husband went on to marry someone else in South Africa. She was too ashamed to let her family in Liberia know. My mother is a foreigner who married a Nigerian as well. So I closely identify with foreigners who marry Nigerians and are abused in the process. It's double the abuse. Wow. Davida, why don't we just try and do something about this? Why don't we start a platform, or why don't you carry this message and let's reach out to those kind of families and, you know, to those girls and those women. We need to do something. Ola Johnson says, I'm so emotional right now. Awesome message. Thanks, Pastor Sunday. Someone is saying, I am, Darlene Madu said, someone is saying, I am using Darlene Madu phone. Who is I am? You didn't write who you are. So, okay, that was not from Darlene Madu. That was another person who wrote that, using Darlene Madu's phone. So it means that was not Darlene Madu's words. Those were the words of another person, I guess. Tim says, wow, so if we hurt the ladies, we are hurting our Heavenly Father. Yes. Shinwen says, deliverance has taken place today. Daniel says, I once mentioned what I went through on this platform and someone shut me up straight away that it was my fault for the woman to have treated me badly. I feel better watching Pastor Sunday's message, for they have done away with my bitterness. Thank God, thank God. Dorothy me said, I'm not bad as a husband, but I can be better, much more better, sir. Thank you for the eye-opening. Thank God. Ufoma says, I am tearing up. Okay. She's crying for Olukayode's, because of Olukayode's apology. Everybody is commending Olukayode for the wonderful apology he gave. Jefferson said, Pastor, I categorically scared. That you are excavating here is so deep. How much damages women carry and inflict on women and wives and daughters to even speak a word. I have to think 10 times now before one word comes out of my mouth. I am setting up 10 different filters right now to evaluate my actions. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Because they are fragile. Women are fragile and innocent, and yeah, and you know, and yeah, they are, you know, they need to be cherished. They are weak vessels. They are delicate. Christina Lampe said, each day it becomes clearer to me that it was planned by God for me to meet you, Pastor Sunday, to get more and better equipped to also teach the principles of God to others. Shito said, we'll be glad to join you back at home, sir. Yes, and all of you that want to join me and go with me to Nigeria, just go to my blog, sundayadelajablog.com, sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria, sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria, and go and fill in the form. You need to go and fill in the form so that we will be able to have your information and invite you and give you updates when we are ready to go. Nikki Okoro said, very interesting, very intriguing message. Thank you, Pastor, for bringing deliverance to mankind. Grigory says, I love you, my pastor, my mentor. Oh, okay. It was Precious Ungu that was using Darlene Madu's telephone. Okay. I got it. Fumi Onifade, our mothers have gone through all this, and in our heads, we, the daughters, think we have to put up with swallowing this, managing it, especially when they think of us as their children. Apostle Tim, we are with you in this movement for Nigeria. Yeah, okay. Layo Charles Emmanuel. Today's message is so emotional for me. My heart breaks for the several millions of women who have been subjected to all the diverse kinds of abuse all of these years. I think that apart from learning on this platform, I think those women can go in for a time of counseling and therapy so the process of healing can begin. So many women are damaged internally. My heart fills with tears. Thank you, Pastor. These words have begun the process of healing and soothing already. Thank you, my dear. Okay, Moses says, thank you, Pastor. I'm addicted to this platform. Value upon value, worth every data spent. I am a better man now. Ufoma says, the church had encouraged women oppression. They teach that woman is responsible and must submit and must endure. She must build her home, and she's turned to a fool in the name of religion. That's so sad. Paul Oriade said, all these messages and those that are still coming on marriage from Dr. Delaja, my wife and I see them as our wedding anniversary gift. Thank you for being down to earth, sir. We are blessed. I saw my area of mistakes, though I apologize anytime I see my mistakes. We are learning. That is so good. Gregory said, thank God I'm yet to make this big mistake of my life. He's not married, I guess. TY said, thank you, sir, on behalf of all of us here, men and female. Thank you for showing us the heart of God. We love you dearly. Elizabeth said, those churches don't want anybody to tell them what to do, especially the pastors. I'm so ashamed at what is going on, even in the homes of those so-called men of God. Koye just said, was especially struck by the illustration. It is like if they fall sick every month, when they have their menstruation. Lots of changes experienced constantly. Yeah. Daniel says, we won't let you and God down, Dr. Adilaja. That Daniel is saying that. Esther Kuganja, that this message needs to go to every church. Edwin say, Pastor, many of us are not getting notifications. Yeah, that is because I am on a different platform this whole week. They blocked me on the big Facebook platform. So this new platform here is just a compromise something. So I will go on Monday night. We'll go back to the big platform. Paul says, I saw some areas in my relationship that I need to improve, adjust, and increase, you know. Ernest says, let everyone convert these marriage teachings to audio and copy to CDs and give as gift to everyone you know. I am doing this for all my church members right now. Olukemi Opola says, I'm so happy for the remorsefulness shown on this platform by our men. Please don't be quiet about what you have learned on this series, especially today's message. Please spread and share the word with all your contacts. God bless you. Davida said, I've been running a forum, Christian Marriage Hub. Some of the men have eventually become advocates for vulnerable women. It's been such a challenge with ministry, male leaders in particular. They call it women's liberation. I tell them Jesus was the highest woman liberator, and we have been called to be like him. Yes. Olukemi said, we all love you, Pastor. Thank you. Adiola says, I think it would be a great idea to continue on this series. Okay. Michael Afolabi, thank you so much for this message. I'm going to use it on my TV program today. Brilliant, brilliant. That's good. Wonuola said, this message is empowering and liberating, strengthening to walk with God, giving liberty. I cannot thank you enough. Well, it's almost going to 2 hours today. It was nice to be with you guys. I think it's time now for me to go. Thank you so much for your time. It was nice being with you. Have a wonderful day. We'll meet you tonight in the evening. God bless you guys. Bye.